Overcoming child abuse is very complicated for lots of reasons. Lots and lots and lots of reasons. But you also need to remember that it's not just our parents. I would have to say probably one of the best ways to have some real recovery and to collapse those gopher holes is to recognize, I'm going to call it, it's not quite the right phrase, I don't think there's really a term, the God complex. We assume and expect our parents to be responsible for, they should have protected us, they should have done this, they should have done that, they should have been omnipresent. And that's an issue. And you have to address that to you the best way that you can. In childhood, a lot of other things were happening. Our parents could not be there every moment of every day. And if they were, you would probably not have any skills or any abilities. If they always did all of the cooking for us and we never burnt our hand on the stove, we would never learn how to cook. If they protected us every moment and made sure that we were never in a car accident, so we were never in a car, we would never travel and learn. Parents are just people. Other things are happening in the same time of childhood that our parents may not have been there for. And even if they found out about it, the damage can be done. I'm going to move from here into molestation and rape, and then talk about some triggers and why triggers happen. So I'm going to continue on. But the God complex of our parents should have. There's a Finding Nemo. I don't know if you've seen that. Here's this little fish, Dory, and she's kind of absent-minded and she's not all there or whatever. And Nemo's dad says, I just want to make sure that nothing happens to him. And Dory kind of responds, but then nothing would happen to him. So think about that. If your parents protected you from every evil in the world, what kind of life would you have had? I went back to grad school in my, half century, and some of the kids there were like, wow, this is a whole different world. They came from smaller communities, and they were never exposed to, and never exposed to, and never exposed to, and now they have to relearn life, is what they said, because not everyone lives the same way as people do in a small town, and they had a hard time adapting. Our parents could not protect us from everything. They're not God. They are people, and they're raising you with the information that they had. They're raising you with the learned behavior that they had, or with the opposite. So this happened to them as a child. They want to make sure that that never happens to you. So they take it to the other extreme as well. They're just people. To overcome child abuse and to overcome some of the mommy-daddy issues, you have to step back and say, they're not a God. They're just humans. Sometimes, why people get over stuff more when they get older. When you start having kids, you start realizing, oh, I couldn't have been there for them while they were at school, or I could not have prevented them from being in a car accident because I can't not teach them how to drive. They need to learn these skills to function in life. So parents do the best they can with the information they have. Should they all be educated? Should they all be open-minded? Should they all be... But babies don't come with books. There's 10 of us, and we're each very, very different. Nature versus nurture, it's definitely a combination. But when you have a baby, they don't come with a guidebook. Oh, this child is moody. Oh, this child needs to nap at 2 p.m. every day, and if you don't, they're going to cry and whine all night. Oh, this child does not like peas. Babies don't come with guidebooks. So they're doing what they can. And when you start realizing that, it'll help you overcome some of those mommy-daddy issues, child abuse. Now, in the land of forgiveness, or in the land of how do you make amends, you have to take that one person to person. Remember, your parents are just other people, just like your person. They are individuals with their own emotions, their own wants, their own needs, they are not much different than you. My mother and I have had a fairly off and on good relationship, because I recognized at a very, very, very early age that she's emotional, that she's flighty, she's can be unstable. Basically, being a professional clown was a very, very good field for her. And she needed a little more looking after, shall we say. So it was easier for me to forgive her because, yeah, that's just, how she is. My dad, on the other hand, was intentional. He would intentionally, knowingly, willfully go cause harm to other people. But he didn't recognize us as people. We have never had a good relationship. We never will have a good relationship. But it's not because I can't forgive him. That's what people say. Haven't I gotten over that? I don't have a problem with childhood, per se. I have a problem with the fact that he is still a jerk. He still, even in his older age, does not believe that women or children are people. He believes that they are property, and that it is okay to beat them, it is okay to hit them, it is okay to be cruel to them, because they are of lesser value than he is, because he is a white male. So therefore, he has authority over all of those that are, as he sees it, less than them. I don't have a relationship with my father because he's a jerk. Not because he's my father or because of child abuse, but he's not someone I would hang out with regardless. Sexism, racism, homophobia. He's a conspiracy theorist that believes that everyone and everything is always out to get him. And there's a few times I was like, he just thinks you want to control him. It's like, no, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want to control him. I don't care if he plays video games all day. It's his life. I'm not going to be in the same room with him because I don't want to hear whatever misogynistic remark is going to come out of his mouth. I don't need to go get him something to eat or something to drink or grab a beer because he's the man. That's why I don't hang out with him. It's not because of childhood. It's because those qualities are not qualities that I want to be around, regardless. Parent to no parent. I'm not going to hang out with other misogynistic men either, or racist, or homophobes, or if I'm not going to hang out with Sam because of these qualities, there's no reason for me to hang out with my father for these qualities. It's the same thing. He's just another person on this earth. That's all. Not a childhood issue. It's a you're a jerk issue. And that's okay. But people talk to me. And a lot of the things that people classify as child abuse or parental responsibilities, that they should have fixed these things and they should have done these things and they weren't there for them. Sometimes we have to separate that trauma from our parents, and that helps us forgive too. So I was molested for several years. And it's easy to blame that molestation on the parents. Why didn't they stop it? Why didn't they prevent it? Why didn't they? But you have to take that anger and put it where it belongs. That parents didn't do anything about blah, blah, blah. You were bullied, you were abused, you were at school. Should your parents have? Could they have? But still take that anger and put it where it belongs. Parents are just people, and we didn't come with a guidebook. There was no map. Oh, and when they go to school on this day in this grade, they're going to be made fun of for, and it's going to devastate them. They don't get that instruction manual. Now, how they handle that past that point, that is on them, and you can be mad about that. But not everything is a mommy-daddy issue. So we need to separate that. So overcoming child abuse, is it a bug zapper? Is it a go for whole? Is it really a parent issue? Or was that just we need to make some adjustments in society so these abuses don't happen to more children? So those are kind of the three basics. In learning to forgive, you need to learn to forgive on your terms. It can't really be forced. So there you go. That's child abuse. I could keep doing videos for forever and forever. But I hope that gives you the basics. Again, I had to overcome my child abuse based on my experiences, my knowledge, my emotions, and who I was. I can't really give you 100% tips for how to overcome yours because you're a different person with different experiences and different thoughts and feelings. And you're bringing into the trauma those things. Is it, there was a chicken soup for the soul that others are like me, but they are not me. So that kind of also goes back to why medications and treatments don't work for everybody, because we're different people. So next, molestation. Not fun.